Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I am super excited for this update because I just went back and I counted and we have 4 new pans. 4 new pans and half of them are matte shades. And if you haven't seen my previous updates, you'll know that I've actually been struggling a little bit in hitting pan in the matte shades. So this has reinvigorated me and I'm super excited. So let's go ahead and jump into the slideshow of all of my progress up until this point. And this is the palette now. How exciting! You know what? I really wanted to hit pan in this shade just so I could have pan in the entire first row. We're gonna get there. I've been using that shade every day, but we're not quite there yet. What I have hit pan in is this shade right here, this matte shade. This is new from the previous update. This yellow shade, I finally hit pan in. Very exciting. I've actually been using this with the gold shade quite a bit, and then this with like the pukey kind of mustard shade in the middle has made some really pretty looks. And then our other pans are in the shimmers down the diagonal from the yellow. So right here and right here are also some new pans. So what I'm wearing right now is kind of a variation on what my go-to look has been recently. I've really been hitting like these 4 mattes in the middle, and then I haven't really been doing a shimmer on the lid. I added a Stila Glitter in Glow just because I wanted a little bit of extra pop for today. But like for work every day, I've just kind of been doing these, and then I'm using this on the inner corner, and I'm kind of leaving it like that. I'm trying to get a little bit more comfortable with a mostly matte look, not an all matte look, because I feel like that's really going to help me once we kind of move down and start using these. That being said, I've actually been dipping into these darker browns a bit more often. Like I've been using these down here. I used it a little bit on the outer V right here to really deepen it up. Because really with this palette, what I'm realizing is that the name of the game is layering and blending. Yeah, you can get some really pretty looks because a lot of these shades are very similar, right? They look very similar in the pan. They look very similar on the eye. But if you add, I don't want to say a bunch of them. If you add a few of them and you really blend out each shade, you can get some really pretty looks. So I think that's what's going to really help here. And as we move forward, help with other pan goals is going to be layering and blending and layering. So that's how I hit pan in this shade. I've just been using these 4. I think this is going to be the next one I hit pan in, if not this one, because there's pretty big dips in both of them, which like I said is exciting because I believe this was the first shade the first matte shade other than this one, which is kind of a shimmer, that I hit pan in. So that was super exciting. The other shade is this yellow shade. So it's been summer and I've actually really been drawn towards like yellows and golds. So I used this shade like all over the lid, and then I went in with this kind of pukey shade, and then I would use the gold as an accent, and it was a really pretty look. So I did that basically almost every day until I hit pan in this shade. And now that's another thing I've also been kind of struggling with and I'm trying to work a bit more on is once I hit pan in a shade, kind of pulling myself back, because my first instinct is, oh, finish it. Like keep using that one shade, hyper focus, like get in there and finish it up so that you can move on to the next one. But the goal for this project is to hit pan in every shade. I don't have to use up every shade. So I've actually found it quite difficult to pull back like from these pinks, to pull back from these shades now that I've hit a significant amount of pan, because I don't necessarily want to completely finish the shade, which is new for me. Yeah, it's a new thing. I gotta pull myself back. So I've been trying to do that, and that's actually helped me a lot focus on these kind of mattes in the middle. So that's how I focused over here and hit pan in both of those mattes. Now down here, these shimmers, to hit pan here, I basically use this trio as a look. And it looks intimidating in the pan and it looks a little dark, but once you sheer it out on the eye, it's actually not that dark, and it was a really pretty kind of work look. So I would just use these 3. I have not hit pan here yet. I see a big dip. But now I gotta figure out another way of using it because I don't necessarily want to keep hitting into these 2. Now that I've hit a good amount of pan, I kind of want to move on. So I gotta maybe use these. This quad actually looks really cute now that I'm looking at it. So maybe I'll make that into a look. Maybe I'll mix this one with these 2, make it more of a red. Now that we're moving towards the end of summer and I'm hoping the weather will start like cooling down. It's so hot. I hate everything. But I'm hoping as we move into fall, I will definitely have like the pull towards like these reds, because these are going to be beautiful fall colors. And I'm kind of already bringing fall into July when I'm filming this. But, you know, I would like the weather to match very much so. So that's how I hit pan there. And then down here, I actually moved and I was doing kind of the same trio look, but with these 3 shades. Also all shimmers. I never really was like into a super all shimmer look until I think the Lila palette and then this palette. It really got me to appreciate like an entirely shimmery look. And that's not something I really would gravitate towards, especially like for work. I mean, I'm on webcam at work, but you can still tell. So it's got me to be a little more creative in the way that I want to do something that's like unique and different and fun, but still like office appropriate, you know? I can still get away with a good amount considering I work from home, but still, there's a fine line there. Now, I think the next step, and I'm already kind of working my way there, is to find that same appreciation for an all matte look. Because I feel like if that's my goal, if my goal of this palette is to hit pan in every shade, I'm going to have to do some all matte looks, right? So I'm working my way towards that. I kind of want to focus on these and hit pan in those, because it's definitely a lot easier for me to hit pan in the shimmer shades than it is for me to hit pan in a matte shade. So I kind of want to do those, and then I want to go back to focusing up here and then maybe slowly move over into these reds and these dark browns. Now, I did completely neglect this corner. I did not touch the purple, the blue, the greens. I did, well, I used these 2 greens a ton. I love these shades, but these I've been neglecting a ton. And I think that's probably going to be, along with the mattes, my biggest challenges are going to be here, because I'm not really reaching for these colors. And I got some great suggestions, and I've done this a couple of times, like doing a super neutral lid and then going with a pop of color on the lower lash line. But I feel like you obviously don't use as much shadow on the lower lash line as you do on the lid, so it's going to take me a lot longer to hit pan. So we'll see. I might just have to start doing that to like make a super neutral eye up here and then like pop a blue on the lower lash line, just so I can get a little bit of movement on those shades. Because I did say in my last update that the goal was to focus on the colors, and I kind of did the exact opposite. So I kind of want to go back to that, see what else I can do here, because those, I could definitely see this quad getting completely forgotten until like the end of this project. Also, apologies, I did not clean the palette. I've been like super busy all day, and this is the last video that I am filming, so I didn't have time to go in and like wipe up this palette. So you're seeing real life. This is what the palette looks like as I'm using it. It's kind of a hot mess, but it's a well-loved palette, which was also the point of this project. All right, and I think that is it for this update. Let me know down below if you're planning a project. If you're panning a palette, how that is going, and if there's any other videos you want to see with this palette as I pan it for the rest of the year. Because I know one that I'm definitely going to do, I gotta figure out scheduling. I want to do a full face palette challenge with this. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to do that, get me a little bit out of my comfort zone. I think I might have already done one a while ago, but I want to do it again. So I got that, but I'm not sure about any other like challenges or videos outside of like the ChatGPT one that I did. If you missed it, I'll throw it up in the cards, because that was a lot of fun. If you guys want to see another one of that, I can definitely do that. Just let me know down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.